All right. Hey guys, Jacqueline Fernandez here, your WWTV Alert Center anchor. Thanks so much for joining us. As you know, if you've been following along, we've been kind of practicing here and there, trying to figure out this new system. So thank you for your patience. And I hope that I actually turned on my audio today, which I believe, judging from this button right here, I did. So that's a good start to everything here at the Alert Center. So again, thank you for your patience with me. Again, you can follow me on social media. I'm at JL Fernandez TV. You can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, whatever you'd like to call it, or on Facebook as well. So we're going to kind of get you started today. Believe it or not, it is Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining us. And today we're going to chat with Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau. We're talking about the new 2023 BBB Scam Tracker Risk Report. So he's joining me live right now from Zoom. So go in and click on there in the Zoom meeting. Hey Josh, how are you today?
Doing great, Jacqueline. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. I'm glad this is all working out. So thanks for your patience as well. So let's just get started here. Now, according to a new report from the BBB, investment scams, right, including those involving cryptocurrency, are now the riskiest scam type. So Josh, tell us a little bit about how this kind of came to be.
Yeah, so cryptocurrency really had its moment in the sun, I would say, about 2 years ago during the Super Bowl. It was coined the crypto bull because it was the first time that cryptocurrency had really ever had that mainstream advertisement, mainstream stage. But in recent years, it's still an industry that has been ripe with fraud. There's a lot of opportunities anytime you have a slightly confusing landscape to work with. To put somebody on their heels, and that's essentially what is happening so often with crypto. Is someone is told that they could 10x their return on investment, and this is a guaranteed win on the investment side. Of course, there are no guarantees when it comes to investing anything. So we do see, though, this as a frequent mode of payment requested for a variety of scam types, most notably romance scams. So somebody needs some money, they're in a hard way, and they ask somebody to wire them some cryptocurrency. The reason why they request that form of payment, it's irreversible. So that money is never coming back to the consumer, making it a prime opportunity for a scammer.
Yeah, and that's so unfortunate, especially with these romance scams. I mean, everyone seemingly wants to meet somebody and, get to know them. So, how can you find out if one of these sites that you're on is legitimate? Like, do you have any specific tips for people who are on these romance sites?
Yeah, well, the first tip that we have is to stay on the site. I would say the vast majority of the scams that we monitor involving romance fraud take the communication offline as soon as possible. And the reason being, one, it's a lot more of a sensitive lane of communication if you're texting with someone, making phone calls to someone, than if you're, messaging them on Tinder or whatever the preferred medium is these days. The reason why a scammer would want to move that communication offline, it's a lot more difficult for the platform to police it. In fact, it's very difficult for the platform to remove that account if the communication actually occurs offline. So that's, red flag number one is someone who's moving, very quickly, but also quickly moving the communication to a place where it really can't be better policed. Um, Anytime you're dealing with somebody in an online setting, there's going to be a certain amount of chance that is left up to, but presumably you'd want to meet this person at some point. So as soon as you feel comfortable and are able to schedule an in-person meeting, you can immediately put to bed whether or not that person isn't who you thought they were.
Sure. And then again, scheduling these in-person meetings, you would want to be in a public place, I would assume, right? I mean, once you do the phone number exchange, safety first for this stuff. It doesn't seem like this is something you'd want to mess with, especially this day and age.
Without a doubt, you would be surprised at the amount of people who are looking for, kind of a quiet initial experience with someone. If you're meeting someone for the first time, you want it to be very public, very visible. You want to be able to assume everything's going to go according to plan, but have some steps in place or process in place should things not go, completely according to that plan. Give yourself that safety net. That's really what a variety of our general tips involve is stacking layers of security such that you can get as close to definitive that this experience is going to be one in which you are at the very least having it on your terms.
And so the employment scam reports remained the second riskiest scam type in 2023. Can you chat with me about what that is exactly?
Yeah, so never before in all of human history have folks desired or looked into remote employment in the ways that they have over the past few years. And that continued throughout 2023. A lot of folks are looking for a way to pay the bills without needing to leave the home. And that's a fantastic thing. And there are a lot of opportunities out there for that type of employment. However, some people are so intent on securing those positions that they're willing to look past certain red flags. For instance, a variety of the employment scams that we monitor involve what we call reshipping scams. So somebody pays you to unbox a box and rebox it and send it on its way. You could understand why that might be an ideal scenario for a scammer or somebody who is operating a criminal gang. But you'd also be surprised at how many folks are willing to look past that. That's really a logistical hurdle that nobody would really want when you're securing any sort of good or service online. We also see, though, that folks are falling for scams in which a notable retailer is being impersonated. So you think that you're communicated with by someone who is trying to secure employment for Amazon or a company you've heard of. The people are not double checking that against the careers page of the actual site, and again are falling for a scam. Probably the most significant, though, Jacqueline, that I would say is the reality that it takes a week for a check to bounce. So we see a lot of folks who sign up for a great opportunity in which they're asked to secure home office equipment. They get a check in the mail. The check it appears that it has been deposited in their account, and they spend a certain amount of money to secure home office equipment from a site they've never heard of. Well, when the check bounces after a week, you're out both that money and the amount of money that you put into these services. So we see a lot of those types of scams in the employment industry.
Wow. So, I mean, again, with all of these scams that we've been discussing, and we've discussed several scams in the past as well, but if it seems too good to be true, it probably is, right? I mean, I feel like that's one point to really just kind of drive home for our viewers.
Absolutely. There are so many that are being targeted in the margins. And again, what might seem on a surface level in a vacuum, like, how could you possibly believe this? I promise you is a lot more complicated when you are factoring in, you have a family that you need to feed. You're in a bind. You really don't have a lot of opportunities to wait for, maybe that other opportunity that's kind of waiting in the wings. You need something now. Uh, Really, scams are in many ways a byproduct of environment, and we do see that time and time again.
Sure. And Josh, one last thing here. So, online purchase, so we're talking about shopping scams. So, these actually dropped from the riskiest scam type for the first time since 2019. I mean, I remember, I think it all kind of started there, right? We weren't used to having Amazon online, like you mentioned, eBay, these big box stores. And so that's kind of how people were getting scammed. How have scammers in the shopping category sort of upped their game, if you will, or any tips on things to look out for as far as that goes?
Yeah, mobile shopping never been more popular than it is right now. That's a great thing in theory, right? When you can, tap your phone three times and secure a product. However, one thing that is concerning is the abridged URL that you are working with if you're not on a mobile app, right? So it's very easy to conceal slight differences in URL when you're on mobile, right? And you have that abridged version. We see a lot of lookalike sites, which is essentially you've scraped the information of a popular retailer and repurposed it such that the branding looks exactly the same, but maybe the URL has a special character inserted, which makes it slightly different. Again, this looks like a carbon copy, so this is not someone who is falling for a site that, on the surface looks completely illegitimate. This looks exactly like a popular retailer. So our advice would be, of course, to do your shopping on desktop if at all possible, and to double and triple check that URL before providing any personal or payment information.
So again, I mean, it just sounds like you're your own best investigator, right? I mean, if something seems shady, or even, when I go online, I mean, I have my own Amazon account, but if something looks kind of weird, that's why they have the customer helpline you can always access, or, click into a little window and chat with someone in live time, right? So there are ways that you can still successfully shop online, but you just want to be extra careful.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this is really not meant to scare anyone. It's just to get a snapshot of what it is that's reported to us. It's still a very safe time to be shopping online, but you want to make sure that, again, you are taking the steps that you can to secure that transaction to the best of your ability. And some of these, tried and true methods are really foundational, and they will continue to be important throughout 2024.
Wonderful. Thank you, Josh. So I'm going to end our discussion here, but I will push to the website and show people where they can go if they feel like they've been scammed. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see here. So I do want to show you, as I mentioned, here's, oops, pop that on the right camera there. All right, here's the Better Business Bureau. This is their BBB Scams headquarter page, and this is kind of where you can find their different scams, the ones that we focused on today. I mean, the romance scam is a big one, unfortunately. So they say they'll try anything to steal from you, including posing as a potential love interest. So this is, one way in depth. You can check it out and make sure that you're, not being scammed there. So next on the list is this is the BBB Scam Tracker, and this is a free tool to use. And I think this is really important because a lot of times, when we've been a victim of a scam, I mean, sometimes we don't really want to report it. But I think from what I've been learning from Josh, I mean, it's really important that we do report it, because when we do, that kind of alerts the BBB to scams, and we can kind of save other people from getting scammed as well. So here's where you can find that. It's bbb.org/scam tracker. And then, they have this very clearly laid out for you. So, if you were scammed, you can click here and report a scam for yourself, another, the business you work for or own. And then they kind of have this down to a T, right? So then you can kind of click through and explain your scammed experience. If you think you're being targeted by a scam, targeted kind of being the main word there. You can look up a scam, look up an existing scam. So what are the fields? Is it dollars lost, by scam type, the description, etc. So these are all just great resources to have on track. Now, the risk report, you can find in its entirety on bbbmarketplacetrust.org. So this will go through the report that Josh and I were chatting about. This goes through in detail, right? So exactly what their findings are. This kind of lays it out for you, a snapshot of last year, 2023, some charts here for you to take a look at. So here are the susceptibility levels, the percentage of reports that include a dollar loss. So that's increased since 2022 by 27.8%, almost 28%. And the monetary losses seemingly are going up and down, but they've decreased from 2022. So that's some good things there. Then again, here's another link to that risk report if you are interested in that. But yes, thank you so much for following us and clicking us and saying hello as we discuss the BBB Scams report. So I'll head back over here. As far as news of the day, don't forget, you can always head to our website. That's WOWT.com. And our web team is going through and making sure all our stories are up to date, and we're on track for the news tonight. So, of course, stay tuned for our first broadcast. That is first at 3 with Dave Zavolinsky. Before we go, let's take a quick look outside. So, looks like the sun's trying to come through, so that's good. You can see the Mutual of Omaha building there. Traffic doesn't appear to be blocked in that area. And then if we head over to our NDOT camera, looks like things are flowing smoothly as well. So, all in all, good news. And lastly, thanks so much again for joining me at the Alert Center. I just want to say thank you so much, and we'll be back with another report here in a few seconds. Thank you.